What's up, guys? I'm Josh Mosman. Welcome to This Week in MXA, episode number 213, presented by O'Neill Racing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Anaheim 1 Supercross is officially in the books. San Diego is coming up next. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened at A1 and get excited for round 2 coming up this weekend. In last week's video, we talked about the possibility of 2025 being the most stacked season of Supercross ever. Now, I'm pretty much standing behind that statement after watching Anaheim 1. It was incredible to see everybody firing on all cylinders, to see how fast everybody was going and how fit they were. The top 10 in the main event were going exceptionally fast. I'm impressed with Chase Sexton. I'm impressed with Ken Roczen in second. Jason Anderson finishing third. Cooper Webb in fourth, pressuring for that podium at the opening round. Eli Tomac came from last to fifth. However, we can't forget about the three Justins. Justin Barcia was running fifth for the most of the main event until the last lap. Justin Cooper was right behind him. Justin Hill was riding awesome, and behind them, Aaron Plessinger and Malcolm Stewart. The whole top 10 was going so fast that they were able to keep behind them Jet Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence, two of the best riders in the world, the two riders that everybody had their eyes on going into the season. Jet Lawrence is a phenom. He hasn't been able to be touched pretty much since he moved to the 450 class, and it's just crazy to see. Yes, he had that mishap in the first turn. I wouldn't even call it a crash. He just got caught in the tough blocks and got stuck there. Then he started marching his way through the pack and went down in the corner after the whoops, but still was only able to make it back to 12th place. Hunter Lawrence, he did run up front early in the race, then he went down in the sand section after the whoops, same spot as his brother. So yes, they did have bike problems. Yes, they did have crashes, but for those two in a 20-minute main event to not even make it into the top 10, that's not a knock against them, but that's a boast, and just goes to show you how fast the top 10 is going and how strong it is. So I think our season is looking healthy right now. It's going to be exciting. However, we can't worry too much about Jet Lawrence and his championship hopes. Chase Sexton mentioned on the podium, he's not worried. He knows that he's going to bounce back and be up there at the front of the pack coming up soon. Looking back at some of the stats, our guy Ben Bridges brought it up that in 2002, Ricky Carmichael was 20th at the season opener. And back then they only had 16 race series. He went on to win 11 races in 2002 and win that championship with an average finish of 2.6. Now James Stewart with a 17 race series, he finished 19th at Anaheim 1 in 2009. He went on to win 11 races and win the title. Villopoto was 16th at the opener. He won 10 races and won the title in 2013. Cooper Webb, 9th place at the opener in 2021. He won 8 races and won the title. And then of course Eli Tomac was 7th place in 2020. He went on to get 7 wins that year and win the title. So it's not out of the question. It can still be done for Jet Lawrence to get 12th at the opener and go on to win the title. But I think this is shaping up to be an exciting one with a lot of guys gaining confidence after A1. And of course, you can't knock the Lawrence brothers. I'm sure they'll be at the front of the pack at San Diego. Now, talking about a couple of the other riders, of course, Chase Sexton, great to see him get his first Anaheim 1 win. That was his 10th win of his career out of 62 starts in Supercross. So congrats to him. Also, congrats to KTM. Chase's win gives them 14 years of winning at least one race in 450 Supercross class. That's the most consecutive wins for a manufacturer currently. No other manufacturer has 14 wins in consecutive years, so that's cool for KTM and also cool for Chase Sexton to deliver them that. Ken Roczen on a Suzuki wins the heat race, second in the main event. A couple years ago, before Ken signed with HEP, if you would have told me that the Suzuki RMZ 450 wouldn't get any updates, but it would be finishing on the podium, I would not believe you. But with Ken Roczen, it's possible, so congrats to Ken Roczen, congrats to Suzuki. Jason Anderson in that first turn bobble with Jet Lawrence, he was bouncing and off riders, ping-ponging through the first turn, ripped out some spokes in his front wheel, and you could tell that he rode a little timid the first couple laps afterwards. You can even see over the triple that he looks at his front wheel to see what it's looking like. That's when Ken Roczen was able to pass him early in the race, but he held on, finished 3rd place. Of course, Eli Tomac, he said that this is his last full season of racing, but he hasn't written off the fact of possibly racing Supercross only or doing some select rounds in 2026. So hopefully things go well and we get another year of Eli Tomac. I'm crossing my fingers for that one. So awesome to see him in 5th place. He did get run over by Chase Sexton at the beginning of the main event, but Chase had pretty much no other option. He could have stopped there, but that would have put Chase in last. And I don't think Eli was bummed about getting run over. I promise you, he probably doesn't even have any bruises from that. It's such a kind of light pop up over his body. No harm, no foul. Chase Sexton went on to win the main event, and Eli Tomac still came from the back to 5th. Very impressive run from him. Jorge Prado hole shot master. Awesome to see his hole shots transfer from the MXGP series over to a new bike, new frame, obviously going from steel to aluminum, from gas to Kawasaki, from MXGP to Supercross. He still can do good starts and still can run at the front of the pack. He showed great speed. He just needs to work on his whoops, and he'll be great to go for San Diego. Excited to see how he progresses this year. Of course, the 250 class was exciting as well. It was a feel-good story to see Jo Shimoda start a series off on top. We've seen him grab wins, but the wins have always come late in a season. For him to win at the opener, I think it's going to start a new fire for Jo Shimoda, and I'm excited to see how he can do carrying that red plate into San Diego Supercross this weekend. Also, congrats to Julien Beaumer for second place, and Jordan Smith getting triumph on the podium for the first time at his first race with the team. There was 5 different manufacturers inside the top 5 in the 250 class, and Ryder DeFrancisco to finish 4th. He was running in 3rd for a long time. Great to see him bounce back and look good so far this year. And of course, Haiden Deegan went down in the first turn, came through the pack to get 5th on the very last lap, even getting close and battling with Cody Schock. Kind of a replay of what happened at Alabama last year when Deegan took out Cody Schock, sent him over the berm and broke his collarbone. This time Deegan got by Cody in the rhythm section before that finish line turn, and Cody went for the kill. He tried to scare Deegan and tried to make him break, but Deegan was fully committed and was able to hold him off, and Deegan got 5th. Cody Schock still an impressive ride on the Club MX Yamaha to get 6th place. Of course, it was a big shakeup weekend for the MXA Fantasy League app last weekend. Thank you guys for playing and tuning in. ADS Suspension gave away a $1,500 shopping spree to the winner of last weekend. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Ihanu. He got the win last weekend, but even he didn't score that well, and he still left a lot of points on the board because of riders like Hunter Lawrence and Jet Lawrence. So with the MXA Fantasy League app, you pick the top 5 in the 250 class, top 5 in the 450 class, and if your riders finish in the top 5, you earn the amount of points that they got. So coming up this weekend, MXA Fantasy League app, be sure to play. ADS Suspension is doing the giveaway once again this weekend for San Diego Supercross round 2 of the series. Also shout out to OnX Off-Road. Thanks to them for sponsoring the MXA Fantasy League app this year. Use the code MXA20 with OnX Off-Road to earn 20% off any of their products. So good stuff from OnX Off-Road and good stuff from ADS Suspension. And speaking of fantasy, we have more ways for you to play and more ways for you to win this weekend at the San Diego Supercross. It's the KTM Junior SX Fantasy League presented by Ford Lightning. So really cool for MXA to partner with Ford and KTM to develop a new app for them just for the KTM Junior class. You guys can go on there and win cool prizes every weekend. Last weekend, we gave away a $500 shopping spree to the KTM Power Parts catalog. This weekend, San Diego Supercross, it'll be fun to follow the little electric bikes around the stadium and play to win. So that's a new fantasy league, free to download, free to play, no restrictions, no strings attached, and you get to win cool prizes. So last weekend it was only available for Androids. This weekend we're hoping to have the app finalized for Apple. It should be no problem and be ready to go for this weekend. So for Apple iPhone users and Android users, download the app for free and play the KTM Junior Fantasy League SX app presented by Ford Lightning. So looking ahead to the San Diego Supercross this weekend, last weekend the race started at 5 p.m. Pacific time at Anaheim 1. I want to know from the fans who were there with us at the race, did you guys like the earlier start time and the earlier departure time, or do you prefer when it started at 7 p.m.? Obviously darker for opening ceremonies and maybe more of a night theme for the race. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I know the East Coast guys love it who are watching it on TV. It's a lot easier to watch a race at 8 o'clock or 8:30 on TV than it is to wait until 11. It bumped it up 30 minutes. It's starting at 5:30 p.m. at the San Diego Supercross this Saturday. You can watch it on Peacock. Also, checking out the track for this weekend. It looks like a fairly simple track for San Diego. It's got a cool finish line section with 3 step-on, step-offs. The start looks a lot better than Anaheim 1. That split start with the jumps in the middle made for what I thought was a really cool track layout at Anaheim. I like the jumps in the middle of the start. I like the big jumps across the start. I thought it was just cool for the layout. But for the start, very scary and almost impossible for guys on the outside to get a good jump and to get a good first turn and a first lap position. So I'm happy about the start for this weekend at San Diego. Yes, we have another sweeping sand section at San Diego this weekend. And one thing to keep in mind, more 180s and more 90-degree turns at this weekend because it's a football stadium. SnapDragon Stadium is a football stadium, so it's got that rectangle shape rather than the diamond baseball shape. Red plate for Chase Sexton, red plate for Jo Shimoda, and Chase Sexton, it hasn't been done since 2017 when Ken Roczen was on factory Honda HRC that a rider has won the first 2 rounds in a row. It's always somebody different at round 2, so it'll be interesting to see if Chase Sexton can get another win, or Jet Lawrence will bounce back, or Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Jason Anderson, Ken Roczen. Yeah, it's a long list of riders who could do it this weekend. So exciting stuff from San Diego. I'll see you guys there. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, we did some cool videos about the new Ducati Desmo 450 with Troy Lee and Antonio Caroli. We interviewed them at Anaheim 1. Dennis Stapleton did a great job with that. They mentioned they're working on a 250F already, and they'll have it on the track, a prototype version, in the next couple months. So Ducati jumping into the motocross and supercross world. They're teamed up with Troy Lee Designs. Excited to see how they do 2026, and interested to see who will be on that team. You got to think that Justin Barcia will want to be back with Troy Lee for 2026. Excited for that. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. A recent video we just posted also is testing Dane Pappas's Gas MC85 2-stroke that he won Loretta's on. That video is on our channel too, so check it out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.